Right, we're live, we've got audio, and that's good enough for me. Hopefully this one is going to be a nice simple one. Get that in focus. You gonna focus? No, you're not. Probably need to turn that down. There we go. Right, nice simple one to start off with today. Don't want to jinx myself. Start to take this RAM out. There we go. Okay. There we go. I was wondering what was going on there. Okay, that was quite brittle. It looks like it's just cracked the corner of that there. Oh, it's gone. Yeah, that's really brittle, that connector. That's something you've got to be careful. Obviously wiggling that back and forward isn't going to help, so let's get this roughly lined up. We're going to take this off, so we need to flip the board. I'm going to have to put new thermal paste on that. Let me get something to cover this up or it'll go everywhere. There we go, that'll do. That'll do, pig. Let's turn this back up and get over to Microscope. We've got a few streams coming up today, hopefully. I'm going to start off with this one. It's a really common fault on this type of Samsung port. Okay, so I'm going to start by tinning these up, and then we're going to remove it with hot air. We should be able to plonk the other one back in, touch it up, and then that will be it. I say that's it. We'll soon find out. We'll need to get that in focus for me. That's out of focus for you. Try not to burn my phone. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, probably going to have to turn that over to do these. On the other side. You can just take these off with hot air, but it's much easier to tin these up with some lower melt. I don't know what's going on with that foot there. Let's give this one more go. It's burnt. I've just been given this as a board, so I don't know the history. Maybe it did get burnt. Maybe the transformer failed. It's because I cursed it and said simple stream. Oh well. We will come back to that one. Hey, morning David. You haven't missed much. Okay, probably put some more flux around here. Just want to be careful of the components. On the other side, there's a couple of little ones. I might go for no nozzle. I think we're going to have to switch over. Oh no, I might be able to get the angle. There we go. It'll take a while to heat this up with the thermal mass. Start to see it going molten. Try and pry this out a little bit. They are in there with a bit of force. Probably should have weighted the board down. Being a pain. There we go. I knew that was going to be a bit of a pain. There's something going on with this last pin, and I'm guessing it's probably the offender. Yeah, looking at it, it's the centre pin. It's probably just been cooked. You can see it's got the same sort of burn around the outside. So I'm going to be careful and try and find out. See if that's just isolated. Let's clean these up. That seems to be taking the solder. It feels rough. It might just have oxidation on it, so that seems like it's getting smoother. Okay. Right. What do you think of using solder paste? I did try, but the problem with solder paste is when you actually look at what it is, it's like hundreds and thousands of tiny little balls, and they just end up going everywhere. As soon as you put heat on it, the flux kind of goes away and they disperse everywhere, so you can't really get it neat. What I will say though, as soon as you find the right solder and the right flux, your life becomes 1,000 times easier. Also, the soldering iron makes a huge difference. For instance, I've started off with this one, which was a blackjack soldering station. I think it's 90 watts. Pretty good. I still use it for its huge tip because I haven't got the Hacko tip, and it makes much more sense where I can just have that one there and then switch to this huge tip. Oops, sorry. The tips in the soldering irons, that's a massive reason as well if you're struggling. If something isn't heating up or something's not going molten, it's because you either not got enough thermal mass or the board's got too much and you just need a bigger tip. If you can't have a bigger tip, you need to add heat somehow. So that's what I'm looking for. I haven't had a coffee yet, so my cup of personality. We're going to do a few videos today. I've got charge ports and a few other bits. I wanted to put some water on a board as well and put some power through it. I've seen Lewis Rossman doing it, which annoyed me a little bit because I've been wanting to do it for a while. I actually had a collection of boards next to the microscope, but he seems to beat me to it, so I'll be copying him. But yeah, he's been using MacBooks and putting water on the boards and doing sort of live corrosion, when really all it is electrolysis. It's pretty basic science. So we're just cleaning these up. You can see it travelling up. Oh, can you? Yeah. Keep forgetting to check. I know the microscope that I use has got a much bigger field of view, so what I can see on the corner, you guys can't see. It's almost twice the size, depending on what magnification. Well, I think if everybody helps each other out, you can only have good things come out of that. It's difficult when you start off because no one's really there to help, and the stuff online you learn, you've got to kind of trust that person. I've learned all my stuff online. Chris Long's channel, Jessa Jones. Yeah, there's a few other channels. STS, he's pretty good. Good thing about STS is he cares about his work, which I think if that comes across, and that's what people want you to do, they want you to care about what you're doing. They want to know that you genuinely want to fix the board. I think that's cooled down enough to clean this off. Problem is there's so many cowboys out there. I mean, people have off days. I have off days myself. You've probably seen that on live stream. But I don't edit any of the videos. If I make a mistake or a mess up, I'll just leave it up. I didn't really set the channel up as an educational channel because I don't really know a lot myself. I'm pretty good at doing, you know, what you'd call general repair when it comes to soldering, like this sort of stuff. And I know basics about electronics, capacitors, but not what I should know. Not what I want to know. There's no real place you can go. There's no school. You've got to teach yourself. So we're just going to clean this off and put the new one on, and that's this one done. So a really short video. Well, I hope so anyway. And it's, by the looks of it, it's not too much of a problem if this pad here's gone. I know it's going to make some sort of connection, and it's got a nice big track going to these components here, so we'll just jump that with some, it's going to have to be some big wire. I want to get back to finishing off the Wi-Fi that I've been working on. We've completely scraped back the chip now, and it wasn't the original problem that I thought, and it seems to be coming from a different chip, which I'm guessing again that's probably not going to be the chip that's causing it. It's going to be a capacitor on the other side of the chip, but because it's drawing so much through that chip, it's just causing the chip to get hot. And that's probably dissipating the heat from the real problem and not letting us find it. Of course, I could go around taking all the caps off. I think Jessa did that in her video and it didn't work, so it'd be nice to try and find out what's actually going on with the Wi-Fi chip, and then people can just cut into it, remove that part, change it, and they don't have to buy the Navi Plus to re-encode everything. Let's tidy this up while I'm here. I mean, this is a good example. You can see here it's taking ages to clean that up, and this is struggling to clean that. It's because this tip isn't big enough to heat that whole pad up. That whole pad's ground, so it has to heat the whole board up to that temperature before it melts. Try not to get that thermal paste everywhere. This stuff's called no clean flux, but if you don't clean it off, it does oxidize the pads. Maybe it just takes so long to cause damage that it's not considered a risk. Okay, so this is out of the packet. See, for once it's a brand new one. I've actually got these in stock, so they fail that often. I'm going to flip this over. drag you over to this. So this should be fairly simple. We're just going to put some pressure either side of that and just tack it down. These are the sort of repairs you can start off doing. You don't need a lot of equipment. You don't need, I mean, you need good soldering iron, you need good solder, you need to practice, but you know, that's just time. I think people sort of come into this thinking that they just buy the equipment and it'll work for them, and they don't realise there's actually a sort of learning curve that everyone has to go through. So I think what I need to do is trying to hold this down at the same time. Right. So I'm just going to tack what I've done is I've just tacked that corner down because there's a bit of flex in the board here. You know, if I'd actually thought about this a little bit more carefully, I could have just put this underneath and then push down. Hindsight, eh? I'm just going to put a little bit of pressure on the board here. Just touching the side and then feed the solder in. And just cut away. Again. You can see how big this ground plane is, it's going to take a while. There you go. Okay, there's that one. And you can see it's becoming easier, it's because the board's heating up, so it's taking less heat to do these. That's for you, Isaac. There we go.
So the passwords you gave us were incorrect, unfortunately, so we haven't been able to test it.
Is it possible to reset it then?
Okay, I'm just going to clean these back.
When you factory reset it, it'll ask for the email and password used to set it up. It's called something called a factory reset protection.
Yeah.
If you've got the Google account, we can do it.
Yeah. When I go research.
Okay. So you can.
Going on a plane, he's flying today. I'm trying to get it so he can take it. I ordered a new one.
Just like it's coming live stream at the moment, so it's probably best not to say about it. Not for your
Yeah.
Okay, David. See you later. This live stream's nearly over anyway, so we're just going to touch these up here and make them neater. I'm going to try and get from this angle.
And that's his Gmail account, and that one is the password for that.
There we go.
Is the main structure soon? I've got to get him up the end of the pier myself, so I
I can come up my back.
yeah. If not, I'll leave. You know, if you can do it anyway, if you can have a go at it anyway, that's great. Alright, you've got my number. Thanks for listening.
Okay, that's going to be it for this live stream. We're going to have a quick look over the work while that's cooling down. Just a simple charge port. We've just got to heat the board up sufficiently to get the other one up, clean the holes, drop the other one in, and job's done. So we can see there that there's all the connections needed. So I come over to this side. If we wanted to test this, you can see here I need to clean this brush. Leaving a bit of residue. Problem is these tips here don't really get in anywhere. Okay, so if you wanted to test this without putting it back in, just do a simple continuity test. Let's do that. So you go from the center pin to there. I think this is ground, that's ground, that's ground, that's ground. Done. There you go. Sometimes there is 3 pins in here. It looks like there is 3 on this, but I think they're just both connected to ground. Looking at it. Sometimes there's like a center voltage. Yeah, they're both just ground. Okay, so as always, thanks for watching. We'll be back on a bit later. If you're on YouTube, like and subscribe. If you are on Facebook, like the page. Yeah, if you've got any questions, give us a shout and we'll see you again. Thanks for watching.